43 of those Commonwealth's attorneys I just mentioned have now signed a brief supporting a state Supreme Court lawsuit that claims the governor's blanket restoration is unconstitutional. WSLS 10's Rob Manch spoke with Botetourt Commonwealth's attorney Joel Branscombe. He's one of the 43 signers and is exploring both sides of the issue tonight. He joins us now live in the studio. So, Rob, what is the major problem these attorneys, these prosecutors, have with the governor's action?
Well, the main problem is that they feel the order was issued quickly and not properly vetted, leaving several holes that now make their jobs harder. I also spoke with Democratic Delegate Sam Razul, who supports the governor's action, but he admits that the restoration still requires clarification in a lot of places, but this was the only move and the only way moving forward. Botetourt County Commonwealth Attorney Joel Branscombe says he's like many around the state who support what the governor's trying to do, just not the way he's doing it.
I have rarely opposed any of the restoration of rights that have come before us. I can count on one hand the times I've done that in my 20-plus years as a prosecutor. But the way it's done is important.
Branscombe says he's already seeing problems as he tries to do his job every day.
I went through and found 4 people that we've prosecuted here in the last few years that are still serving penitentiary time on violent felonies. When we plugged them into the governor's system, the Secretary of the Commonwealth system, they came up as eligible to register to vote.
That's because people serving federal time do so before serving time for any state charges, a loophole in the system. And Branscombe says it's not the only one.
Sex offenders who are civilly committed fit the criteria. They're being held, they've been civilly committed, they're not serving a criminal sentence, and their rights showed up as restored.
Branscombe says all of these problems could have been caught had this been voted on by the General Assembly. But Delegate Sam Razul says there's a good reason the governor didn't go that route.
For many years, this has been brought before the legislature, many times, and every single time the legislature has upheld the racist piece of our Constitution that tries to treat people as second-class citizens.
Racist because the vast majority of ex-offenders without civil rights are African American. Razul says the governor's solution is by no means perfect, but in this case, he says the ends justify the means.
There's certainly a few kinks in the system that need to be worked out, but largely we are overturning something that has been racist and that has been embedded in our Constitution for too long.
Well, Branscombe also says another issue that comes up is the restoration of gun ownership rights for ex-offenders. It requires approval from both the state and the Commonwealth's attorney, but with the blanket approval from the state, Branscombe and others are left with that decision at their discretion, something he says he doesn't have much guidance on. The lawsuit by General Assembly Republicans will be heard in the Supreme Court of Virginia on July 19th. Reporting for WSLS 10, I'm Rob Manch.